Well, I was wrong. Kai Sotto did not get drafted in the NBA draft. But this is not the end. This is still just the beginning. What is up, NBA fans and Kai Sotto fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Again, thank you for the giant turnout for my NBA draft. It was an amazing night, except for the fact Kai was not drafted. I thought for sure he was going to be drafted in the second round. That did not happen. That being said, this is just a detour. Plan A is not working, so we're going to go with Plan B. I still think he's going to get into the NBA. Will it be this season? I don't know. Could it be next season? Not sure, but I think it will happen at some point. Definitely sooner than later. Drop a comment down below. What do you think Kai's next step should be? Do you think he should go play in the NBA Summer League? And if he can get a contract with the G League, play there? Do you think he should stay with the 36ers and stay with the NBL? Let me know below. Hit that thumbs up if you like support a fellow Kai fan and subscribe for more Cobra Kai content. Anyway, let's get into the article. Filipino basketball player Kai Sotto was undrafted in the 2022 NBA draft, temporarily delaying his dream of becoming the first ever Philippine-born player in the NBA. Kai had this to say himself: "The dream is always the NBA, so I'll always have to do whatever it takes to get better, stronger, to improve. This is just a speed bump. We didn't get to plan A, but we got plan B. It's not going to stop me. It's not a signal for me to stop, but to keep on going." I love that attitude. Sometimes you have to fight harder to achieve your goals. Me personally, I've been doing well on YouTube the last 3 years with this sports channel. Prior to that, I was on YouTube for 13 years trying to do independent films and got pretty much nowhere. And for like a decade, I had 16 subscribers. That was my plan A. My plan A didn't work, but plan B ended up being pretty darn good for me. And I think Kai Sotto, as long as he continues to push towards his goal, he will eventually be an NBA player. And teams did have interest. If you take a look here, the Chicago Bulls, New York Knicks, Cleveland Cavaliers, Orlando Magic, Atlanta Hawks all expressed interest in him, all had workouts. You don't work out a player if they don't interest you in some way. So again, this is not the end. And apparently, y'all had Kai Sotto and undrafted trending on the Twitter, and boxing legend himself, Filipino legend Manny Pacquiao, had this to say: "We are so proud of you. The dream is not over. Keep fighting." And that's what it says on the thumbnail. And I'm not sure if I'm going to say it right, so I'm not going to try to speak Filipino because I'd mess it up. But the words on the thumbnail mean fight. And that's, keep on fighting. This makes me actually like Kai Sotto even more. I mentioned to you all in a previous video, I kind of felt like the underdog Rocky story, the guy that maybe wasn't supposed to be drafted, and then maybe he ends up getting drafted. Well, now he's not drafted, and it feels even more Rocky. If you're not familiar with Rocky, the American boxer movie, it's about a guy that's essentially a bum, and then it gets a title shot against the champion of the world. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, starring Sylvester Stallone. And I'm not going to say anything else in case you haven't seen it. And this gives me more reason to root for Kai. I'm like, all right, you didn't make it with plan A. I want to see you get in there and plan B. We'll wrap up the article here. Soto may still get an invite for the 2022 NBA Summer League that is slated to start on July 7th. So he's got not much time to decide whether he's going to go or not if he gets invited. He also has the option to return to the Australian National Basketball League, where he still has a standing 2-year contract that he signed with the 36ers last year, plus a third-year option. Me personally, Kai fans, I'd rather have him go to the NBA Summer League. He's going to have more exposure to NBA teams there. Or if he goes back and plays with the NBL, could be lost in the mix, a needle in a haystack, if you will. The last thing Kai said here was, "My development is always number one priority. I'm only 20 years old, so I still have a lot of room to grow and develop to improve. The next step, I really have to think with my family. I just have to do everything to get better to reach my dreams." And I think the first step in reaching those dreams for Kai is playing for the NBA Summer League. If he gets offered a two-way contract, and I won't go into types of contracts in the NBA because there's a whole bunch of them, but if he gets offered some sort of contract with a G League team, get your foot in the door. It doesn't matter how you get there. Get your foot in the door and show the NBA that you should have been drafted, and whatever team signs you, just play at a ridiculously high level and then become an NBA player. Now, the biggest roadblock I see that could happen right now is, one, if he decides to stay in the NBL, that could slow his chance to getting to the NBA. And his agent has been openly saying, and maybe Kai agrees with this, maybe he doesn't, I don't know, but saying that Kai won't take a two-way or Exhibit 10 contract from the NBA or even play in the G League. And that could make teams go like this. We're like, you know what? We like Kai Soto. Like, take my San Antonio Spurs, for instance. Man, we like Kai. We didn't feel like, we wanted to use a draft pick on him, but we still think there's a lot of potential there. We'd love to have him with the awesome Spurs. Let's offer him a G League contract for a year, develop him, and then maybe bring him up with San Antonio. And if his agent or he himself are like, you know what? We don't want to play in the G League no matter what, that would hurt him. And I hope that's not the case, because then NBA teams are going to go, well, if you're not going to play with our G League team, then okay, stay in the NBL. So hopefully it all works out for him. I'll be rooting for him either way. And that could also just, that story that was reported, maybe just who knows how much of that's facts right now. There's a lot going on. He's got a lot of decisions to make. I'm sure he's staying positive in the article, but I'm sure he was bummed out not being drafted. And whatever he does, if he stays in the NBL, all right, hey, do your thing over there. But I personally would like to see him get exposure in the NBA Summer League. And I don't know that, I'll close with this. I don't know the contract rules with the NBL, but for those of you that do know, could he play in the Summer League with the NBA? And then if he doesn't get brought up this year by an NBA team, could he go back to the NBL for the rest of the year? So that way, he's getting more repetitions, more practice. Practice, we talking about practice. And that's all I got. Again, I want to thank you all for the draft, an exciting draft. And yeah, Kai, hopefully I'll be making a video on you soon that you have signed with somebody, somewhere, for an NBA team. Thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, and as always, go Kai go!